friends, and welcome back to my channel. This is going to be a zodiac love reading for the sign of Cancer, and this is specifically a twin flame reading. So if you resonate with the twin flame journey, this reading is for you. And keep in mind that this won't resonate with every Cancer out there. So if it's not resonating and you feel called to, you can check your other placements, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. And also keep in mind that if you're cross-watching, from what I understand, a lot of my viewers who cross-watch actually end up, like, even though they're dealing with a Cancer and they're cross-watching, they actually end up resonating with the viewers pile. So let's get into it. These are very in-depth readings, so they are taking me a bit of time to get through. So thank you for your patience. And let's get into it. So this is going to be your energy. This is going to be your counterpart's energy, and this is the potential outcome. And Cancer, I am very excited to do your reading because your cards are actually very beautiful. So let's get into it. So the first card we have for you is Lily, and this is air energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. So you could have air placements. You don't have to, or you could be dealing with an air sign. Lilies could also be symbolic for you, or the name Lily. And this is number 30, which reduces to 3, which is Empress energy. So absolutely beautiful. And this is an interesting card. I'm just going to read from the book for you. So it does feel like you are in some very beautiful energy here, especially with that energy of the Empress. So you could be really focused on nurturing yourself, nurturing or tending to your garden, your inner garden, I want to say. Maybe you are gardening. Very established, so it feels like you are going through a lot of growth. So lilies, and it's on page 47. Which reduces to 11, interesting, which is a master number. So faith, humanitarian, accepting, tolerant, intuitive. So you could be, you could also be focusing on your mission right now, I was hearing. So lilies, so you could be in an energy of, feeling highly spiritual. Maybe you have evolved spiritually because of this connection. France could be symbolic, the Virgin Mary, a prosperous and secure period in life. So it does talk about balance, honor, respect, support, experience, maturity, peace and harmony. This is a time of peaceful union of souls, trust, reciprocity, and a long-lasting bond. So it feels like you are trusting in the journey. You are definitely, feeling and trusting in this lasting bond you have with your counterpart. It is an energy, it feels like you're in acceptance of this bond. It also talks about reconciliation. So I'm not sure if you've reconciled with this person yet. For some of you, maybe there is like communication between the two of you, but I definitely feel like there's a reconciliation coming and that you're trusting in that. Peace-loving nature. So you could be in the energy of unconditional love. You could be, I'm hearing like maybe you're even in the energy of the peacock, which is, what does the peacock talk about? It talks about acceptance of self and others. And I was hearing like maybe you're even in the energy where you're no longer judging others. You're in this energy of unconditional love for all walks of life, I'm hearing. What else? It talks about reliability, works of art. It can represent sexuality, professionalism, high quality. So you're in a very elevated energy here with the lilies. So that is beautiful. Let's keep going. That's very magnetic energy. We have surrender, trust the process. So it does feel like you're trusting in this long-lasting bond or this counterpart connection. You're trusting in the journey. You could be embracing the journey of, You could be in the energy where you do realize that if it's meant to be, reconciliation, union will happen, but you're realizing that there is a process to counterparts and twin flame connections, and union is actually just icing on the cake. I feel like you're trusting the process of coming into inner union with yourself. And again, when you surrender to what the journey actually is, which is it's about you, and you start to come into inner union with yourself, it does really release resistance. So I just feel like you're going with the flow right now. And sometimes I talk about how with the counterpart journey, imagine you're going down whitewater rapids, and energetically, like you're in like an inner tube or a little boat going down the whitewater rapids, and your eyes are open. You know what's going on. You know what this is. And tethered to your inner tube or boat is the divine masculine or your counterpart. But they're in their little boat asleep, like their eyes are closed. And that goes back to the divine feminine leads the way. And instead of fighting against the obstacles or trying to wake them up, like turning around and trying to wake the masculine up, or trying to avoid the lessons that need to be learned. I said needed, that's interesting. So maybe you've been learning some very important lessons because I was speaking in past tense. Mr. Crow confirms. But instead of fighting and trying to paddle your way around obstacles, it feels like you really are embracing the energy or the journey, and surrendering to the flow of this journey, which again releases resistance. It's beautiful energy. And then we have Angel of Love, angels guiding this connection. So it does feel like you believe that if it's meant to be, it'll be. You believe that this connection is being guided by angels or the divine or a higher power, whatever your higher power is that you believe in. Your energy is so straightforward. We have change, transformation, preparation, 555. So you are evolving into this beautiful butterfly. And perhaps, you're getting ready to spread your wings and fly. You could still be holding on to the shell of your old self a little bit. But I feel like you are getting ready to let go of that cocoon and fly. So you are going through important transformations right now. Your energy is so straightforward. I love it. We have fertility, children, birthing a new idea, new beginnings. So you could have some new beginnings happening in your life right now. You could be trusting or preparing for a new beginning with your counterpart. You could even find yourself, without meaning to, you could be nesting. And that is something that happens to like pregnant moms. They instinctively start to nest when they're pregnant, but that's something that happens to divine feminines as well. So you could be instinctively starting to nest, or, clear out clutter out of your life. This could also be linked to birthing of a new idea. It could have to do with your mission. You could be very focused on your mission, or you could be thinking about going after your mission, because the lilies also talked about humanitarian. So you could be looking to be of service to others. This is also, giving me Empress energy. It's giving me Queen of Cups energy. So I just feel like you are very much in your divine feminine energy or on your way there. Queen of Cups, you could be trusting in your intuition. You could be really focused on self-love right now. You could be learning how to nurture yourself, tending to your inner garden. You could have children as well, so you could be spending time with your children. You could also be realizing that, this journey actually benefits our children, because we change and we grow and we evolve and we heal our trauma, and it prevents us from passing it down to our children. So for some of you, you could also be seeing the silver lining in this journey as not only are you coming into inner union with yourself, but you're changing the dynamics of your ancestral bloodline, I'm hearing. The way you are changing will also change your children's lives. We have mission. So you could be either starting your mission, maybe you're already well on your way and working very hard on your mission right now. If you've been thinking about it, this is definitely a sign. Like, we have birthing a new idea and then we have mission. So if you've been looking for a sign, like if you've heard that little whisper within you that I could do that or I could help people, there's a reason you're hearing that, and it's because you do have a mission. Divine feminines have a mission, and that is also part of the journey, is getting on your soul path. And it can be hard to get on your soul path or tap into what your mission is when you are like hitting bumps in the road with your counterpart or when you're in contact. So that's why this separation is so crucial, because it allows you both to awaken. It also allows you to, come into inner union with yourself. Think about the butterfly, The butterfly wouldn't be able to transform if it was holding on to its caterpillar counterpart, or if it was too afraid to go in its cocoon and leave its caterpillar counterpart. So just like the butterfly, there needs to be that separation where you go within and the old version of you dissolves so that you can grow into that butterfly. So yeah, if you've been hearing a little voice about your mission, a little whisper, or you've been having creative downloads about maybe I should do that, or maybe I should start helping people, this is your sign that it is time to get involved with your mission. And one thing I love about this card is I'm not specifically talking about women, because divine feminines can also be, males or people who are non-binary. I don't want to leave you out either. But those are all feminine hands. And I'm not saying that you have feminine hands if you're a man. But part of this journey is the divine feminine finding their soul path. And the more of us that are doing our mission, we're raising the vibration. We're helping humanity, right? We're helping the world. We're raising the collective vibration. And you can see all these intertwined feminine hands. So like I said, every feminine has a mission that they need to tap into, and it doesn't need to be like being a psychic or being a tarot reader. It's whatever you feel your mission is, whatever lights your soul on fire, whatever you lose sense of time doing. And again, separation is the time where the divine feminine evolves into the divine feminine, but also evolves into their mission. We have unconditional love. Penguins could be symbolic. And I'm seeing the penguin card from that red oracle deck I love so much. So I really feel like you were in the energy of, it's not a question of why did my counterpart do this to me? It's what can I learn from it? So I feel like you are starting to, see the blessing in the journey and what you've learned from it, what it's taught you, what it's done for you, what it's done for your children. It allowed you to align with your mission, for example, and you're learning how to unconditionally love yourself. And, a lot of people have unconditional love for their counterpart or their romantic partner, their children, right? But I think on this journey in the beginning, when the divine feminine hasn't awakened, it is very common for the feminine to love the masculine or their counterpart more than they love themselves. And I feel like this is about you learning how to unconditionally love yourself, which means you accept all of you. But yeah. And then we have Love Yourself, Inner Union. You had 3 cards come out. So definitely learning how to unconditionally love yourself. And sometimes that means, even though you love this person, if there was something, like maybe you're finally surrendering to the separation. Unconditional love does not mean putting up with bad behavior, putting up with being mistreated. So sometimes we have to love ourselves enough to go into that cocoon and love ourselves more, if that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, coming into inner union with yourself, which is what this journey is about. And once you surrender and you trust that what's meant to be will happen, and you start coming into inner union with yourself, you start focusing on your mission, that's when the change happens. That's when your counterpart starts to awaken. So yours was very straightforward. All right, let's get into your person. So they had 2 cards come out and I took them both. And actually on the bottom of the deck, after I shuffled these, we had the stork. And the stork is about transformation. So I do feel like your person is going through a transformation. We also have diamonds here, which are earth energy. So you could be dealing with an earth sign, or you could have earth placements. They could have earth placements, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. And this is a really nice combination of cards because with the Lenormand deck, the meanings change depending on what card comes out with it. And they have a negative card and a positive card. So the meaning of this card changes because the sun is here. So I do feel like your person has been through some sort of transformation or is going through a transformation. The Coffin card talks about illness. It talks about retreating to like your bed. It talks about feeling unwell. It also talks about endings that bring new beginnings. And when people are awakening or going through like a spiritual upgrade or an ascension, they can actually start not feeling well. They can develop like flu-like symptoms. You know, they think they're just sick, but we know what's going on. But the fact that we have the sun here, 31 reduces to 4, which is divine masculine energy. It's emperor energy. And 8 is the number of strength. So we have strength and the emperor here in terms of tarot. But it shows this person is having clarity and that the sun is starting to rise. So this period of darkness they've been in, perhaps they were going through a dark night of the soul. Now the sun is starting to rise and they're starting to think more positively about themselves. They're starting to think more positively about this connection. This could have been someone who was denying they had feelings for you, I was hearing. And this is, this is about a new beginning that's coming. And you also have the energy of a new beginning that's coming. So I like that for the 2 of you. My kids are being loud, but they're just having a good time. It's funny, my kids started school today. They started a little bit. I always give them a few extra days because I homeschool them. And last night they were all like, I don't want to start school. I don't want to start school. And then this morning when I came downstairs, I get up really early. They were all awake. They were all like, I don't know. They seem to be excited to start school, even though last night their ego was telling them, I don't want to do school. They were all up at the crack of dawn ready to do school this morning. So I thought that was kind of cute. Oh, look, we have mirroring here. We have 4 and 8. And I just talked about, we have 8, 4, 4, 8. So that, maybe look up what that angel number means. Look up 8448. And see if there's a twin flame meaning. An upsurge of energy, active actions, favorable circumstances, a positive and powerful card, the onset of a bright period in life. So, And if any part of you is feeling threatened or upset because your person is about to have a bright period in their life and attract attention, and maybe you think that's not about you, that's not the right mindset to have. You should be happy that your person, like the sun is coming out for your person. Because think about it, if your person is feeling ill and lacking confidence and fear, they're full of fear, they're definitely not going to take action towards you. But if they're feeling uplifted because they've been healing and they've been transforming and they're feeling confident, that's when they take action towards you. I mean, I didn't see any resentment in your energy, but I wanted to mention it. Self-confidence. So they are working on their self-confidence. And I wanted to look at the coffin when combined with the sun. Where are you? So transformation, the end of one period and the beginning of the next stage in life. So there's something ending in their life and they're about to have a new beginning, enter the next stage. This does speak of like ascension. They're leveling up. Their energy is leveling up, and that's kind of what you want. Because until they level up, they're not really going to change. This also talks about encountering difficulties and serious trials. So clearly this person has encountered difficulties, serious trials. And because we have the sun here, it's made them appreciate certain things or show gratitude for certain things. And I'm hearing a bit of mirroring here because I feel like you are starting to appreciate what this journey has done for you. Like, let's take union off the table for a minute. You're starting to appreciate the growth that you've been through, how it's going to change your kids' lives, your grandkids' lives, generations to come, right? You're breaking cycles here. And I feel like this person, they could have been in denial of this connection in the past, but because of the difficulties they've been through here, perhaps divine intervention, it's made them appreciate you, is what I'm hearing. So let's keep going. We have toxic masculine, low vibe man. So it's interesting what this came out with because, again, it kind of changes the meaning of the card. Look at that. We have divine masculine, tuned in man. So that's the ascension. That's the leveling up that they're going through. And that makes sense with the coffin card and the sun because the sun is divine masculine energy. So this is someone who's going through a level up. They're changing, they're elevating, they're changing their frequency. And they're elevating from a low vibrational, distorted masculine into a divine masculine. And one thing, you know, low vibrational person doesn't have to be a man, but low vibrational person in distorted masculine energy would want to argue, would be unhealed, would be more focused on career or money, maybe some toxic traits. A divine masculine energy steps up. They take the lead. They have confidence. They take action. So this is what they're transforming into. So I love that these two cards came out together because, I mean, that's a little bit magical right there. They're transforming out of this toxic masculine, distorted masculine energy into divine masculine energy, and that's what you want. And again, I see mirroring here because I feel like you are stepping into divine feminine. And, you know, there is a belief that you're connected by a red thread or red threads. The invisible string theory is what I'm hearing. And even though you're not talking to this person, even though maybe you live at a distance, maybe you live across the world from them, energetically, the divine feminine leads the way. I spoke about the boats. So as you raise your vibration, you're pulling on their red threads. You're pulling this person up energetically, which is why I think the energy of mirroring is so symbolic here. We also have brown eyes and hazel eyes, could be symbolic. We have the matrix, realize, realize, realize. So I know it sounds like I just said, they're different. I know it sounds like I said the same thing over and over again. Real eyes, realize, realizations, and real lies. So this is someone who's seeing, I'm sure you know what it feels like to see through the matrix, or to realize, you know, maybe they watched The Matrix recently, or maybe that's an important movie to you. But they're seeing things through their intuition, through their third eye is what I'm hearing. They're having realizations about themselves. I don't know why I'm hearing they could be realizing that we live in a simulation. I don't know why I'm hearing that, but they could also be having a realization about their distorted masculine energy and how they need to change and grow. They could be seeing the truth of things around them right now. Let's put you down here. Oh, look, it came right underneath toxic masculine. So I feel like this person is having some realizations about their own like distorted energies or toxic energies. And then we have action, rapid forward movement. And we have the cheetah, which is divine masculine. So I do feel like I said, if you feel threatened or resentful that, you know, I'm not saying you do. I'm not saying you do. But one thing that I've seen in my comment section is, you know, people saying, oh, it's great that they're doing well now after they hurt me and they took everything away from me. And there's almost like a resentment towards the masculine, that the masculine is doing well, but you need the masculine to do well if they're going to take action. You need them to do well if they're going to level up. And the cheetah talks about, you know, divine masculine energy. It does talk about action. And whoa, that crow's right outside the window. Hello, Mr. Crow. Also, one of my dogs is coming back from the vet, so when my dogs start freaking out, I'll try and pause it. But one thing about this journey that I've been talking a lot about in these zodiac readings is the feminine goes through, their journey is very slow. You know, so think about, let's just put this in the Whitewater Rapids context. You have your eyes open for most of the journey going down the White Rapids, you know? You're kind of pushed into the White Rapids, into your little boat that's attached to someone who's asleep and doesn't have a clue what's going on. For a while, you try and, you know, fight the current. You try to avoid the obstacles. Maybe even you wish you weren't in that boat, dragging this person who's asleep behind you. It's a very long journey down those rapids for the feminine. And eventually the feminine starts to surrender to the journey and does the inner work, comes into union with themselves. So the awakening and the journey for the feminine is like a slow burn. It's slow and steady, like a turtle. Now I'm hearing the turtle in the hair. Whereas for the masculine, and I don't want to not give your person credit for doing the work, but I feel like it's because you've done the work that they're now awakening. But what happens for the masculine is they awaken farther down the line. They awaken near the end of the Whitewater Rapids. Like, again, they're asleep for most of the journey while the feminine is wide awake and knows exactly what's going on. And there comes a point where the divine feminine elevates to a certain level that the masculine's eyes open and they start to awaken, and then they go through a rapid ascension. So it's not like the feminine where it takes, you know, I want to say years. Once the masculine awakens, it is accelerated. Very different to the feminine. So once this person, elevates into divine masculine energy, once they awaken, once they have that aha moment, again, they grow very quickly. All right. So I do feel like this person has taken action on the mind as well, because we also have divine masculine energy here. And we, right underneath, we have action. So it feels like this person does have reaching out on their mind, but they actually have a card here that tells me that you're not in contact. Some of you could be in limited contact, like maybe you've heard from this person recently. I don't know, because you had the Lily, which talked about a reunion, the uniting of souls. But I feel like it's more you're surrendering to the fact that you are connected to this person. Like, I'm hearing separation is an illusion. So maybe you're even accepting the fact that you're not really separated, because in the 5D you're connected. If you are talking to this person, I don't feel like you're trying to control the outcome. I don't feel like you're chasing. You could be, I don't know why I'm hearing take it or leave it, but you could be in that energy where if I hear from them, fine. If I don't, that's all right. I've got other things to do. Like, very focused on yourself. But let's get back to your person. I keep wanting, it's interesting, I keep wanting to talk about you while I'm channeling your person. So I feel like that's symbolic that you're on their mind. We have no contact. So I definitely feel like this person isn't contacting you regularly, or maybe at all. The other thing I'm hearing is like this person could be picking up their phone like intuitively. Do you ever get that where you pick up your phone and then you're like, why did I pick up my phone? So it's almost like I feel like this person is starting to connect the dots here where they know they need to reach out to you, but it's almost like subconsciously they're picking up their phone. And it's like, why did I just pick up my phone to check my phone? And it's also, I feel like I had that download about being in no contact and about how you can't transform if you're in contact. And we have toxic masculine here. So I feel like that was one of the reasons for no contact, is that you were dealing with someone in distorted masculine energy. And then we have I love you. And remember the sun card. I like how all these cards lined up here. Like we have the sun, divine masculine, I love you, rapid forward movement. Then we have the coffin, toxic masculine, no contact, the matrix. So one of the realizations with the sun card, I do feel like this person is realizing that they love you. They're no longer in denial. And think about mirroring. If you didn't love you do mirror your counterpart. You're the same soul. So if you don't unconditionally love yourself, or you don't love yourself, I know it doesn't make like logical sense, but then this person would be mirroring back that lack of love. Do you know what I mean? So once you realize that you deserve reciprocity, you deserve commitment, once you realize your worth and you're not willing to lose yourself, or lower your standards just because it's your counterpart, once you truly come into inner union with yourself and you love yourself, that's the energy that's going to be reflected back, is love. Is there a Capricorn here? All right, so we're going to go into future outcome. Another reading where I wish I had been recording the card pull, but these readings have been so long that when I shuffle cards, it can take a while. So I just went ahead and shuffled them out before we started. But we've got some very interesting cards here. We've also got some very interesting back of the deck energy. So let's get into it. So listen, For your outcome, we have the House, which is number 4. And you know what I'm going to say, 4 of Wands, union, living together, marriage, building a home together, building a solid foundation. We have these 2 birds here. I'm not actually sure what kind of birds they are, but it's almost, look at the, listen, maybe you're seeing little red threads. I've heard that on this journey you do see red threads, and it's always kind of creeped me out a little because it's happened to me in readings where there's been like red threads or red fuzz on my table, and it's like, where did that come from? I don't wear red, so where the heck did that come from? So you may be finding red threads, or in the future noticing red threads, and pay attention to the length of the thread, because that can be symbolic of how far you are from coming back together or how close you are. And here we have these 2 birds, each holding on to this, I know it's pink, but onto this thread or this whatever ribbon, whatever it is. And you can see they're coming together. And one thing about the 4 of Wands is sometimes you'll see 2 wands on this side, 2 wands on this side. You'll see a castle on this side, a castle on this side, and then 2 people coming together. And it's very symbolic of coming together to have a strong foundation once you've both found your own foundations. And that's why the journey of self is so important with counterparts. So yeah, the home does... I also think those are grapes. So grapes could be symbolic. What do grapes mean? I can't remember off the top of my head, and I don't want to go... What do grapes mean? Hang on. Let me see if I can... Thankfully, Spirit said it's that deck. I picked the right one. I hope. I hope there's grapes in here. If there's not grapes... Grapes! More grows in the garden than the gardener sows. Fertile time and place. Grapes will indicate that magic is about, especially from the garden, so get out there and you will find opportunity and inspiration. Family stability, happiness, and tradition, and the way they can support you are all things that should be remembered and implemented. So fertility, wealth, mental strength, garden magic, abundance. Sagittarius could be symbolic. Interesting. And then the House, I opened right up to it. And it's 16, which is the Tower energy, but this represents a strong foundation. Security, protection, stability, and a solid footing in the context we're examining. Family matters, place of residence, real estate, property, traditions, a comfortable and secure lifestyle, the places where we feel most at home. It signifies the creation of structure and foundation, the organization of personal space, staying in one place, maintaining a routine lifestyle. Beautiful. And union, right? 4 of Wands energy. So we have speaking up, say what you feel. And this is part of the thing, is that sometimes feminines have a hard time speaking up before they grow and evolve into that butterfly, because there's a fear that if they say too much, they could push their counterpart away. If they put up boundaries, their counterpart might run again. This is 2 people speaking from an authentic place, having an authentic conversation, feeling confident enough to speak from your authentic voice. So there is communication in the outcome here. We have future plans, long-term commitment. So you have the House, you have long-term commitment, Speaking about marriage, this could be a conversation about where you both see this going. And then look at what's on the bottom. We have reunited, coming back together. And you can see this feminine is sitting and the masculine is approaching them. And in this image, it's definitely the feminine speaking their truth. So again, that's an important part of the journey, is learning how to speak from a place of confidence and unconditional love for yourself without fear of pushing this person away. And if what you say from an authentic place pushes them away, then it's not the right time. Like maybe you trigger some of that. We have crown chakra, consciousness, higher self, divine connection. So you're both, what I love about this is, I won't pull out the card, but on the same frequency card, you can see the crown, your crown chakras are connected. And it says divine connection, both of you stepping into a higher level of consciousness, both of you trusting your higher selves, communicating from your higher self, you know, communicating from a higher consciousness, not from a lower vibrational energy. We also have divine masculine here. Action, assertive, driven. I was just looking at the bottom of this deck. No, that's the wrong deck. We have water, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. So that could be symbolic. But this shows someone taking action here, someone being in divine masculine energy, leaving that toxic masculine energy behind, taking action, right? So I feel like when you talk to this person, they're going to be in their divine masculine energy. Then we have acceptance. So both of you accepting this situation, both of you surrendering to this connection. I feel like this is also symbolic of you no longer holding on to control, like allowing things to unfold naturally, going with the flow, that water card. We have union, which, I mean, when that came out, I was like, are you kidding me? Why am I not recording this? So we do have union here. The two swannies coming together. And remember, to get to inner union, you have to come into inner union with yourself first. That's why we always say this journey is so important. It's like, this is icing on the cake. And this does show like a divine connection, twin flames, the two swans. And then we have divine feminine. So what I love about this is, from one deck we had divine masculine come out, and then from the other deck we had divine feminine. And I also saw the divine feminine, divine masculine, yin and yang card. So that shows like you both coming together in your divine energies, allowing this union to happen. And then on the bottom of that deck, we have Merkaba, which I believe, I'm still learning about Merkaba, but I know that it can symbolize like chariot energy, so forward movement. It's also like the combining of divine feminine, divine masculine energies, I believe. All right, so let's get tarot now. Let's get tarot. So first cut, we have Ace of Pentacles, steady union. Which comes after you realize what a gift you are. Look at that. That reminds me of inner union. We have Six of Wands falling off the top, which is about success, victory. We have the Queen of Pentacles, abundance, stability. Yay, love it. One more. We have the Page of Wands, so inspired action. could have had a false start with this person. So I'm just going to get some cards for you. Ooh, Seven of Swords in reverse. Interesting. The end of games, the end of avoidance, the end of running. That's interesting. The Moon. The end of running from shadows, from the inner work, from your intuition. I'm talking about them too. So for you, I'm going to get your energy, how you feel about them, how you feel about the journey right now. Going to do the same thing for them, and then we're just going to get a few cards for the outcome. So show me Cancer's current energy. Show me Cancer's current energy. We have the Hermit, and we have the Five of Wands in reverse, and we have Strength. Taming emotions, overcoming obstacles. So you're standing in your strength right now. Trusting your intuition. Trusting your inner compass, I'm hearing. Building confidence. Five of Wands in reverse does show that you are overcoming obstacles, confirmed by the Strength card that says overcoming obstacles. You're releasing resistance. This is beautiful. And we also have the Hermit, solitude, soul searching. And the Hermit also talks about finding your soul path or your mission. So this is beautiful. It does look like you're isolated. Maybe you're isolated from everyone, but I feel like maybe you've withdrawn or you're keeping yourself. Like if this person ran from you, maybe you continued to withdraw from them. There's a lot of soul searching, self-reflection going on here. The Five of Wands also talks about not wanting conflict. So if you were, I hear a cicada, which is about transformation, judgment energy. I was also hearing crickets. Yeah, so things could be quiet. Like I'm literally hearing crickets outside. But this Five of Wands talks about not wanting to be involved in conflict. So you could be like not interested in involving yourself in dramatic situations. It could be that, you know, one of the things about distorted masculine energy is it's very Five of Swords. It's very like self-sabotage. There can only be one winner. So you could have been dealing with someone who liked to argue or wanted to be right. And this could symbolize you not being interested in that, like not, because when two people are fighting, it's kind of like a clash of egos. It's like your little inner ego monsters are fighting. And I just feel like you're not in that energy of fighting. Let's get one more. Let's get one more. It's interesting. For you, I keep hearing the divine feminine leads the way. And I say that sometimes, but I keep hearing it for you. And I keep seeing you leading the way. And even just this image of this feminine holding the lantern, like, you know, she's on a journey and she's kind of looking back, like she is leading the way here, is what I'm hearing. We have What a Catch. I love this because I feel like this is very symbolic of you realizing what a catch you are. You know, truly unconditionally loving yourself, realizing what a catch you are. We also have money focus on the bottom. So it feels like you are focused on your career right now or on your mission. We also have the King of Swords. So you could be like I was talking about avoiding conflict or not wanting to get involved in that distorted masculine energy. So you could have like mental clarity and you could be emotionally detached from this person right now, like very focused on you. And, you know, having clarity that you are a catch, that you are the Empress, and that, you know, this person would be lucky to have you. Let's see how you're feeling about them. So we have the devil, and it does say destructive habit. And that's kind of what I was getting at with toxic masculine. So this person could have had addictions. This person could have had toxic traits. They could have had unhealthy attachments, negative emotional patterns. This is how you're feeling about this person. And we also have the Two of Swords. So it feels like there was some kind of stalemate where... That's interesting. I just heard... You have what a catch. And I just heard someone say your counterpart can eat their heart out. Like, because you're such a catch. You know what I mean? Like, eat your heart out, you know? I don't mean literally eat. I don't think you literally want to eat their heart. But anyway, I just heard it, so I had to say it. But you could be released. Like, you could have... With the Two of Swords can represent a need to go within. So I feel like things became stuck. So for how you feel about your person, there was definitely some sort of devil energy. You could have been codependent on them as well. Like you could have had that chaser energy for a while. Not realizing that you were a catch. Anyway, so it's like you feel like you hit some kind of wall with them when it came to some destructive pattern or habit or toxicity, that things just became stuck and there was no way to move past it. You could also be feeling like until this person heals those things, until they heal this toxic masculine energy, like, I'm a catch, I'm not interested. Which I would say they might be picking up on energetically, like knowing that if they're going to come back in, they need to be this divine masculine. Let's keep going. How are you feeling about this person? How are you feeling about this person? I was also hearing we have strength. So you could be feeling like they could have, you know, they could be easily angered or easily triggered when their ego is triggered. They could have some sort of like bruised ego or reaction with that devil card and the strength card. So again, it feels like in order to have a new path with this person, a new chapter, they would need to heal that destructive habit or the way they love or those toxic traits. They would need to learn how to tame their emotions, overcome obstacles. It also feels like this person could have tested your inner strength. You could be an earth sign dealing with a younger fire sign. You don't have to be. I just heard that. We have the Nine of Cups, so it does feel like you feel a very strong connection with this person, especially with the 8. Think of the infinity symbol. So it's a connection that cannot be destroyed, nor can it be recreated with another person. So clearly you feel like this person is your wish fulfillment. But completion of a full cycle, the world. So it feels like if you were going to overcome obstacles with them, there's a cycle or a pattern that needs to close out, things that need to heal. I'm going to get one more. How do you feel about this person? So we do have manifesting you, wants you back, moving into alignment. So deep down, you could be in that surrender where you know that this person, once they move into alignment, they will be back. This could also be about how you feel about them. Like you could be manifesting them. You could want them back after they heal. And you feel like by working on yourself, you're helping them move into alignment. They could have been more focused on their career when they were with you. Let's see how you're feeling about the journey. How are you feeling about the journey? We do have waiting, Wheel of Fortune on the bottom, but hoping they'll return. So I don't think you're waiting around doing nothing, because that causes stagnancy, and that's not what I'm seeing in your energy. But I am getting that, you know, you're seeing the pros of this journey, you're seeing the lessons in it, you're thankful for what it's done for you, for your children, or for your future children to come. But you'd also be happy with that icing on the cake, which is union, because it does feel like you want this person back. I don't think you're waiting around doing nothing, though. We do have Wheel of Fortune energy here, so you feel like, you know, everything's happening in divine timing. They'll come back when the timing is right. The universe is in control of this connection. Fate and destiny for how you feel about this journey. So let's see their energy. Show me their energy, the counterpart. So we've got the Four of Cups. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. This is amazing. So right now they do feel like right now they do feel like you would refuse their offer. I'm not sure if you did in the recent past, but they're feeling like if they came towards you right now, you would refuse them in that toxic masculine energy, or however they were showing up in the past. They do feel like they took you for granted here, or they missed an opportunity with the Four of Cups. And look at this. This is their current energy. So they are not happy with the way things have played out between you. They're feeling very discontent in their life, refusing offers from other people even. Like they could be not interested in talking to anyone right now because they're so focused on themselves. Again, I feel like this person feels like they missed an opportunity with you. This is amazing coming out for them. Accepting to grow, self-care, healthier choices. And I feel like that's what you've been working on, right? But this person, they're accepting that they need to heal. They're accepting that they need to grow. Whereas in the past, maybe they were in denial of that with that Seven of Swords. They could have been resisting it. That's interesting. We have Knight of Swords, sudden action. So this person, they are feeling impulsive about reaching out. Remember I said they keep picking up their phone? I feel like you're going to hear from this person soon. Let's get one more. They could have Knight of Swords talks about a fear of intimacy as well. So they could be healing that fear of intimacy. I'll be right back. I don't know. They stop barking right away. So there is this like impulsive urge to reach out to you, but they're very uncertain if you would accept their offer or not. So one more for their current energy, please, Spirit. Ooh, we have wishing, replaying events, suffering, and silence. Three of Swords, heartbreak. So there is a separation here. Replaying the events that led to the separation, replaying events of how they hurt you. Suffering and silence. So there is this energy where they want to reach out, but something stops them. Four of Pentacles, insecurity. So they're feeling insecure. All right. That's kind of what I was getting at with the distorted masculine energy and them transitioning into divine masculine energy. And then here in the future, we have divine masculine energy. So once they heal that distorted masculine energy, that's, I feel, when they're going to take action. How are they feeling about you? The Star. Oh, that's beautiful. So I feel like they feel like this is a fated connection as well. So we have the Eight of Swords. They're in their head about you, my friend. And we have the Six of Pentacles. So I do feel like you're in separation. The Six of Pentacles shows they feel like you deserve equal give and take and reciprocity. So that could have even been something you said to them at the last point of contact. And that could be like what they're replaying. And that could be why they know they need to change before they communicate with you. And if they're feeling insecure about being able to give you equal give and take and reciprocity and be healed, then that would stop them from communicating. They're stuck in their head about you. Eight of Swords, limited beliefs, right? So self-imposed, limited or self-limiting beliefs. So that would look like, I could reach out, but they'll just reject me. I could reach out, but they've probably already met someone else. I could reach out, but I don't think I can give that to them like they deserve right now until I do more healing. But they see you as someone worthy of equal give and take and reciprocity. I almost feel like they feel like you could also help them heal. Because I feel like you're a healer, because we've got the Star here as well. And the Six of Pentacles can talk about like receiving help. So this person could even be feeling like it's a shame we're not in contact, because I think that this person could really help me with my healing, because I think you're farther along on your healing journey. The Star, Aquarius energy. So they feel like this is a fated connection. They do feel like you have a very healing energy. You could be in the spotlight somehow. It also says the worst is over. So this person feels like the worst is behind them. So they must have started healing and changing. Yeah, the Five of Pentacles here in reverse shows that this person feels like if they come in out of the cold, they want you to welcome them. And there's this fear or this insecurity that you won't, because maybe they, there's something they can't give to you, or they have more healing to do before they come in. And Temperance shows patience, not making any rush decisions. So as much as they want to come in out of the cold here, they're moving slowly, because they know you deserve balance with Temperance as well. They know you deserve a balanced energy. So maybe this was very inconsistent or one-sided in the past. And there's positive changes that they need to make, healing that needs to happen so that they can meet you where you are. They want to come in out of the cold. Let's see how they're feeling about this connection. Hard to let go. So they've found it very hard to let you go and resisting change. So for a long time, this person was resisting making these changes, resisting their healing. They could have been didn't I say they could have been resisting this connection? But they find you very hard to let go of. How do they feel about this connection? Clean up. Cutting karmic ties, doing the inner work. So this person does feel like this connection, they haven't been able to let it go, and it's time to clean up their life. It's time to make those changes. It's time to heal. It's time to do the inner work. And again, they feel like they need to get some of this inner work done before they communicate with you. And then on the bottom, we have the Seven of Swords in reverse. So they're done playing games. They're done running from their shadows. They're done resisting that change. And I feel like something that they did to you is weighing heavily on their mind, whatever that was for you. All right, let's look at future energy. Future energy. So we have Temperance. That's interesting. We have Cold as Ice and Five of Pentacles in reverse. So if this person, I'm telling you, there's something about balance here. I don't see this as that's how they're going to come in. This person no longer wants to give you inconsistency. Remember back here for how they feel about you. We had Temperance, we had Six of Pentacles. I said maybe this person was inconsistent. Maybe they weren't putting in the effort. Maybe they were running from this connection. Maybe they had inconsiderate behavior, like with that Devil card energy, giving you mixed signals, very hot and cold. This person wants to change that with the Five of Pentacles in reverse, confirming it. That's about positive change. So in the future, we see this person coming in perfect balance, perfect balance. They're coming in, you know, things come into balance here in divine timing. And you can see they've made a positive change. They're no longer being inconsistent. And look, Eight of Pentacles, that's about a renewal. That's about, it says putting in the work. So this person is going to be putting in the work here in the future. Children affecting your connection. So that could even be your inner children. Let's just get a few more. Future outcome, potential future outcome. Potential future outcome, Two of Cups, Ace of Wands. So we have a new beginning here. That crow's outside again. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. So we have the Ace of Wands, passion, spark, beginnings, potential. We have the Two of Cups, reunion, and we have the Five of Swords in reverse, which is about reconciliation and making amends. It's the end of self-sabotage. It's the end of toxic love, the end of toxicity. I feel like this person, I do feel like they fear that you're going to reject them, but eventually they hit a breaking point where they just can't take it anymore and they take action towards you. Because we do have reconciliation. The Two of Cups shows strong connection, reunion. The Two of Cups also talks about two people engaging in an honest and heartfelt conversation to clear up miscommunications. It does talk about unity, partnership, and Ace of Wands, a new beginning, like inspired action. Somebody throws a log on the fire. All right, so let's get some channeled messages from this person. That's some good potential. I am being divinely guided towards you. All right, let's see what this person wants to say. You speak to me through music. I listen to love songs and imagine you here next to me. That is a way that counterparts communicate. And I'm not just talking about sending each other songs. I'm talking about, you know, you'll be going about your day, listening to music, cleaning your house, driving your car, whatever. Froggy in my throat, releasing, cleansing, healing. And you'll be listening to a song and all of a sudden, like part of the song or a lyric will like really, you'll hear it very clearly. It almost sounds like a message for you. The other thing is songs that follow you around. So like maybe you get in your car and a song comes on, and then you go to a store and you're walking through the store and you can hear it playing on the music that's playing in the store. A couple days later, you turn on a movie, that song is in the movie. You get what I'm trying to say. That happens to this person as well. What does this person want to say? What does this person want to say? What does this person want to say? All right. I didn't have the best upbringing, and my only vision of a relationship was an unhealthy one. I'm not surprised by that. So listen, when someone grows up in chaos, they can subconsciously crave chaos. And what that means is as soon as things start feeling safe and good, they self-sabotage or they create chaos. I listened to a really interesting video by Aaron Doughty once where he was talking about, you know, growing up, he always wanted like stability. He wanted love and to be nurtured. And then when he grew up and came across connections like that, even though that's what he wanted his whole life, he repelled them, like he resisted them because they didn't feel familiar. And the word familiar stems from familial, which is family. So we kind of, our wounding can cause us to kind of grow up and seek out the same kind of unhealthy dynamics we experienced in childhood because it's familiar. And there can be safety in familiarity, right? Anyway. I believe we will be together one day, and that helps me stay positive. Do you believe in us the way I do? I do believe you believe that, judging by the cards you had. I pray for your forgiveness and hope you will return back to me. I want to show you I can be the person you can count on. And I don't think they're going to take action until they know they're the person you can count on. I keep seeing your name and things that remind me of you everywhere around me. And this is something that happens. It doesn't just happen to you. It's the universe's way of not letting them forget. I daydream about the moment I can sweep you off your feet and embrace you with a kiss. That is so interesting because when I was asking how they were feeling about you, we had the Knight of Swords, and the Knight of Swords said swept off your feet. So there is this, I've never seen it. Is it an officer and a gentleman where he comes in at the end and he like sweeps her off her feet? I feel like this person may imagine doing something like that. When you least expect it, I will come back to you. Everyone will witness our love in the 3D. That's beautiful. Our sexual chemistry is off the hook. When we are intimate, it feels like I am high. Oh my. I want a whole new life with you, and I will leave everything behind in the process for our union. So there's that new beginning. I even think underneath the Ace of Wands, we do have the Eight of Cups. So that's confirming that message. Divinely guided, trust the journey, your connection is protected. So whatever this person needs to walk away from for this new beginning, anyway. My life is one big mess and I'm working hard to fix it so I can be free. Please be patient with me. That would explain the Coffin card. I feel your energy all around me and cannot help but hope that you feel my energy around you too. It is my fault that things between us never worked out, and I'm sorry for blaming you. That could have been part of that toxic masculine energy we were seeing. You are very special to me, and I'm planning on taking action to prove how important you really are in my life. I am tired of running from this connection. I miss you so much and need you by my side. And I am working on myself so we can come into union. I need you to trust me right now. So trust in the journey. All right, Cancer, that is your reading. Thank you for your patience, and I'm sending you lots of love and light, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.